Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Today we're talking about a new controller I received thanks to QRD. They sent me the Maestro S3 in order to review this puppy. They didn't specify anything I have to say. Everything I'm gonna say right now is just my own thoughts. But again, thank you so much QRD for sending me this product in order to test. This controller is compatible with PS4, PS5, your phone, Android, iOS, PS3 and Switch, and the PS4 mode is supported on PS5. Otherwise, you might need an adapter. I'm going to talk about the adapter in a few. The general build of the controller is pretty significant. The length is 300 millimeters by 200 millimeters, and it has a width at the highest point of 31 millimeters. You'll see that it has actually on one side a jack, a 3.5 millimeter. The compatibility of consoles and also, well, it works on PC, obviously. It has their own PCVs. A big difference between these and other controllers is that it doesn't use the GP2040, which is the most common one in most controllers. That's already a big difference. It has hot swappable switches, so you can just take the button caps off and the switches immediately off. And we're going to talk about the switches in the pros and cons. The switches have a 45-gram force, 45G basically, which puts them in a very similar scenario to other very popular switches, and they're super silent. Specifically, it weighs 1,130 grams, which is basically nothing really. It has all the SOCD modes that you need, with one also added that's called easy mode. I have no idea how it works. I've been mainly playing with SOCD 2, the one you need for most fighting games, specifically Street Fighter requires it, which is if you press back and forward you get neutral, and up and down you also get neutral. This thing is wireless, so you can easily just not carry a cable and just connect through Bluetooth. And it includes, if you want to be very fancy, it includes like a stand for you to put your Switch or your phone while you play. It is so light that it's easy to carry to tournaments. You just add your cable, controller, and you're mostly set. So far, so good. What are the plus of this controller? Basically, the one that I'm absolutely very happy with are the switches and the button caps. It might not be visible really on video, but the button caps are slightly higher than the regular caps you see in low profile controllers. This is absolutely fantastic because I actually feel like I'm pressing the buttons, and that in combination with the great switches they have, according to QRD, they were developed by themselves. That is amazing. The switches plus the button caps make the controller feel very premium, and I haven't had any issues regarding, for example, really quick moves like a running giant swing in Tekken 8 with King, super low as 720 with Zangief on Street Fighter 6. So it's been very easy to get used to playing on Leverless with this controller. You do have PS5 compatibility, but you need to use either the adapter they sell themselves, which is for a wireless connection to PS5. So you can add it, just buy the entire package with the wireless adapter. You have all the SOCD modes you need, and it has a touchpad. This is amazing. I love when controllers have touchpads because this makes everything easier for training mode, for using different combinations. Is absolutely something that most controllers should include, especially if they aim to be played on PC and PS5. And you don't need a cable this is very specific, but if you don't plan to play necessarily in a competitive environment, you might just play wireless and just charge it. 8 hours is pretty long for you to charge and just relax, maybe sitting away from the TV. And you don't need to play fighting games with this. You can basically play mostly whatever you want. What are the cons with this controller? I think my main issue right now is the space you have for your wrists. If you put your wrist on the controller and you don't bend your fingers, the edge of the controller will be hitting the lower part of your wrist. And that can be pretty tiring after playing for a few hours. That means in order to have full support on the controller, you need to move your fingers slightly up, like this. That could be easily solved maybe with a revision for this controller if you move everything up, or you create a more significant space between the buttons and the lower area. Possibly the big negative I have so far with this controller. The PS5 compatibility, as I said before, is through an adapter, which you can buy directly from QRD. With the controller, you can buy it as a package, and that is good, but at the same time, if you want to play competitively, that is not the solution. You might still need to get Magic Boots or some adapter for Brook in order to actually play directly on PS5, if that's the case. For people like me who want to play competitively, this might not be the solutions. You can switch the color of your buttons very easy holding L3 and R3. That's great, very easy. You can switch between different modes for the rings around the button caps. But if you want to change the SOCD mode, you have to hold Option and down. That's not that hard, but the controller doesn't indicate which mode you're selecting. It basically rotates between SOCD1 and easy modes. The light below the touchpad just blinks, and that's it. It tells you that you switch modes. It'd be nice to have a different color for a different type of SOCD mode. That would be excellent. Should you get the Maestro S3? For me, I have small hands, I think. For me, the issue with the wrists and the lower part of the controller is significant. So whenever I play for longer periods of time, I need my wrist to be fully supported on the controller. Now, if you have bigger hands, maybe you don't have that issue. That might be just me. PS5 wireless support, it will depend if you want to go to tournaments. If you go to tournaments only on PC, basically you don't need anything. Just grab your QRD Maestro S3, the cable, and you're done. And that's also a plus. Having not that amount of weight in your backpack when you're traveling or where you're going to tournaments is a big plus. Definitely a big plus. QRDGame.com is the website. You'll see that they have, at the moment of recording this video, the QRD Maestro S3 is $169. Well, and if you want to get free color caps, which I haven't mentioned, but I did add them to the controller because they look pretty cute. And plus the adapter, the wireless adapter for PS5, $199 US, which is a good price for a wireless controller with this much functionality, plus an adapter for your PS5. Keep playing grapplers, hydrate, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.